Navy blue blood flowing through our veins. Sitting in the bleachers in the rain. We've shed 1,000,000 tears and drank as many old-style beers out at the game. Let's go, Cubbies, Ranto.
Michael Cotton.
Ranto.
Michael Cotton.
Ranto and the lovable Lucy.
Lucho Scali.
Ranto.
Michael.
Ranto.
Cotton.
Ranto and the lovable Lucy.
Michael Cotton.
Ranto.
Lucho Scali.
That'll warm you up on a cold winter's night. How about it? Hi, welcome to the Sun Ranto Show. I'm Danny Rocket. That was the lovely strains of the Cubes fan Cotton. Sarah Sanchez is along this evening, and we have a very special guest this evening from Arizona, where there's about to be some baseball. We have Tim Sheridan, who is also the Sloan Park, formerly Hohokam public address announcer. We're going to talk about spring training because it's coming. And amongst other things, but first I want to welcome everybody because this is the Sun Ranto Show on the Bleacher Bunch Network, on the Fans First Sports Podcast Network, and we're brought to you by our 94 paid Patreon super ranters who go to patreon.com/bleacherbunch to get all the exclusive content and join our incredible Discord page. Please join on. It's only $1. Would like to especially thank the very alliterative Blake Beard and Bernie Barron. The
bubbas. We love the bubbas.
So thank you to them because they are a very special Bleacher Bunch, Bernie Barron, Blake Beards. And also our sponsors In the Clutch Shirts and Matt Kammerer's Permanent Paintings Etsy store, where you can get all the amazing Cubs art you see behind me. And so Tim Sheridan's here. And
hey,
hey, Tim. So that was not the best introduction I've ever done in my life for a guy. Hey, Tim's here. Tim,
the spring voice of the Chicago Cubs.
We've been around together for quite a while, Danny, so we don't need any big introductions. It's all good.
Exactly. And if you don't know who Tim is by now, well, you'll know after we're done talking here.
And that's on you. That's on you.
That's on you. Really, you should know. So anyway, let's just go around the horn. How's everybody doing? You know, there's no baseball really to talk about. There's not even, it's a dead week for the Cubs. It's nothing really happened.
I do have one baseball thing if people are so inclined.
Yeah. Let's talk about baseball. Might as well.
There's baseball?
No. But if you are a fantasy baseball nerd, which some of you know I am.
Never mind.
And you are like really in to fantasy baseball content. Starting today all the way through Sunday is Pitcherless PitchCon. And there will just be like panel after panel of people telling you who the number 37th best starting pitcher is. And that probably sounds really boring to some people, but I will be hanging out there most of the weekend and say hi if you're around.
Oh, Cotton's going. I already signed him up.
Well, I don't mind hearing about the pitchers and stuff. But the fantasy baseball part turns me off because it just feels so far away from the actual baseball game. But if we're doing it this early and they're just talking about projections and stuff like that, I could totally see checking something like that out just to get an idea of what's coming up.
Especially the 37th best pitcher, because that guy's definitely going to be a Cub.
I'm just saying it's definitely going to be a Cub because the Cubs are excellent at having like the third to fourth best guy that you like in a tier and good defense. So like you should draft them. But anyway, if you are like really jonesing for a baseball fix, PitchCon is where it's at. The nerdiest of the baseball nerds are talking stats, strikeout rates, bat speed, who's going to win the NL Central. It's going to be great. So you can check all that out at pitcherlist.com.
Cool. Well, thanks for that plug. I actually will check it out.
It's great, honestly, but it is very like all the stats I bring you guys, like these are the people that I talk about them with. So,
Cool.
Cotton, how are you? How you doing?
I'm a little lonely. I'm lonely.
Is your dog not on your feet like usual?
No, she is actually literally, I can touch her right now. She's always right next to me. No, Emily went to New Mexico this morning. I had to get up at 3 a.m. to take her to the airport.
Finally left you, huh?
So
where in New Mexico?
Las Cruces.
Oh my God, I have family in Las Cruces.
Well, she does too. She has one less family now, and that's why she is there. So she's there for the weekend, and so I had to get up very early this morning and come and take her to the airport. And now it's like I don't know what to do with myself. Like, it's just so weird when there's nobody else in the house. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. So,
you're podcasting now. Focus up.
It's the first time I've talked to people all day. I'm super excited. You're the first people I've talked to. And I was going to watch the Hawkeyes. The women's basketball team is playing USC right now.
Game. It's a good game.
If anybody, Dominic
Keep
Galoro
Michael
says,
informed.
Dominic Galoro says one eye on the bleacher bunch, the other on Iowa USC. I actually got to go to a game just the other day. They played Ohio State. Ohio State was ranked number 12. Iowa was number 10. It looked like it was going to be a tough game for the first minute and a half. And then Iowa just started pounding them. It was great. It was very fun to watch. So go Hawks.
Go Hawks, and actually go us, because we're all here and we're here to entertain you and talk a little bit about the Cubs if there really is any Cubs to talk about. We got pitchers list, we got the Iowa Hawkeyes, and we got Tim Sheridan's going to at least give us some advice about what to do at spring training. He's an expert from being down there so many years. How many years is it, Tim?
Well, I was just trying to think on that one.
That long.
Yeah.
If you can,
I think
let's see, carry the six.
Seriously, I think this is going to be my 43rd straight season.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's an amazing run.
And I'm only 50 years old. That's weird.
No, but you might be able to soon be contacting Guinness. Like, there might be, because they're making up records all the time. I don't know if that's a record, like longest spring training announcer of all time. But
here's one, Danny.
Put you in the book.
I figured this out. Okay, mainly because the Cubs draw the most fans and always have the spring training. Okay, and because of my longevity, and I've checked all the other teams. I mean, if someone can say otherwise, let me know. But I think I have done the public address announcing spring traiing to more human beings than anyone in history. There you go.
Yeah,
that's
probably true.
Yeah, you're like the McDonald's of PA announcers, like billions served. And you're down in Arizona right now, but you have a strong connection to Minnesota. In Minneapolis, and I kind of watched you come back on Facebook. You hadn't posted on Facebook in a while with everything going on in Minneapolis. You kind of got involved and said your piece about things. So I just wanted to wish you the best with that. I mean, it's heartbreaking for all of us here on this show. I know the people that watch our show feel that way too. So,
it's super difficult.
Yeah,
it's super difficult for me because I'm actually, when I'm there, I'm very involved in the community. I love Minneapolis. I grew up there. So here's the deal. I grew up in Minneapolis. My parents, when I was during my sophomore year of high school, they were like, why are we in this very, very cold place? Because their parents had been there and they're, that typical thing, like maybe we should move someplace warm. And so this is interesting, Cotton. The places that they were looking at were, I kid you not, Las Cruces, New Mexico, Florida, San Diego, and the Phoenix area. Well, I think San Diego would have been pretty cool too, especially that long ago. But I ended up in Phoenix, is where I finished my final 2 years of high school in Tempe, Arizona. And that's the next year. I was going to Mesa Community College, and someone came into a radio and TV broadcasting class. Actually, it was 2 years later, and asked if anyone wanted to help out at Cubs spring training, and that's how that happened. So I lived most of my adult life here in the Phoenix area. Went to college at NAU, Northern Arizona, and Flagstaff after my Mesa Community College sojourn, and then, not too long ago, I decided to move back to Minnesota because I really got burnt out on these summers that are 118 degrees that seem to go on and on and on. And I did like plenty of them, so I knew what that was. And spring, summer, and fall in Minnesota, as a lot like Chicago, is amazing. So that was about 8 years ago, and now I'm able to kind of do the snowbird thing. But I feel guilty that I'm here now because a lot of my friends and actually cousins and other more extended family are still up in Minnesota dealing with all the shit that's going on there. So it's a little bit difficult right now because yeah, it's crazy. So
well, and everybody knows exactly what we're talking about. We don't have to fill you in on this, but I did reach out to you, and you said that a good charity to maybe link up with if you had any extra money would be the Powderhorn Park Neighborhood Rent Relief Fund, which is in the neighborhood where Renee Good was killed. And since that happened, there's been another murder, and just everybody's heart is breaking. And I've spent a lot of time in Minneapolis, St. Paul. They're the nicest people. You know, I saw the video you sent me about, it's just too bad the Lutherans are just so nice and you guys are jealous of us because we just feel like we want to take people in and make people's lives better. And obviously that's not what our administration is currently going for as far as a societal mix. Let's just put it. It's just horrifying what's going on. And, our heart goes out to you and your friends. And, I will say this much. It seems to have brought a lot more of us together as much as it pushed other people apart. And I feel like, I see a lot of solidarity that is quite inspiring amongst my friends and other Cub fans working within the community that we've already established for ourselves, that I've felt a lot of support within just what we have, even right here on the show in this moment.
Hey,
yeah, go ahead.
I just want to add to what Danny said. Can you explain a little bit why rent relief is so important right now in that neighborhood and any neighborhood in Minneapolis as you answer that?
I can, yeah. So that particular area, like I say, is literally Powderhorn Park is a very large, beautiful park in the city of Minneapolis, and it is like 1 block from where Renee Good was murdered. It's kind of an area where younger people live. In fact, I have a friend who lives literally 2 blocks from where she was killed, right off the park. And so, it's not the most affluent area, but it's a beautiful area. It's a lot of apartments, a lot of, like somebody say, it skews the demographics are younger people. And they're very community oriented and involved. And, in talking to my friends back there, there's a lot of difficulty because there are people that are like, can't go out to their normal work. They can't do a lot of the stuff they normally would do. And so they're looking after other people. It's just, this is the kind of group of people that are, going to be actively involved in protesting and doing all this kind of stuff. And I just think, it's as many things that are out there. There are probably really good places to put your money. This is a really good one because I know the neighborhood, I know the people. So sidebar here. One of the things I do in the summer in Minneapolis, and I know I'm like the old guy, is once a week I play kickball. Yes, kickball, that game with the red ball, that hybrid of baseball, but it's so much fun. And I play with a lot of people. We have our only serious game. It's very fun. It's, guys, girls, it's like pickup. So whoever shows up on a Wednesday night, we pick teams and go and play. So it's just a blast. It's the kind of game where you can bring your beer out there and not worry, nobody cares. But we have one serious game a year. We call it the Kick Brawl, and that is at Powderhorn Park. And so I've gotten to know a lot of people that play their pickup games. They do it on Mondays, but at Powderhorn, and they're an amazing group of people, caring group of people. And so I've just gotten to know that whole area and community of the city, and you can't go wrong.
Yeah, Tim, I do have to ask you with the kickball, how many of them know what you do with the Cubs, and if they know, do they want you to announce them when they're walking up for kickball? To bat, I guess you call it bat. I don't know.
Up to kick,
Up to kick,
You're right, kick.
So they had in the beginning they had a little difficulty because most of the people think baseball, and so they'd say, you got an RBI, sack RBI." I'm like, that's an RKI. It's a run kick in. You got to get it right. So no, they never really have. It's really weird though, because it's a pickup, and there's people that I played with, and I've been doing this for probably like 8 or 9 years, and most of these people are like in their mid-20s to mid-30s, so I'm definitely a yo guy. And I guess if I was like really horrible, they would probably go, "Yeah, but I'm okay at it." So at the game, and so I played with people for several years, and then they find out it's like, "You do what for the Cubs?" I'm like, "Oh my God, my dad's like the biggest Cubs fan ever. I had no idea." And so that is kind of funny when that happens.
Yeah.
And you've gotten to meet so many people. You're a very personable guy. Throughout the years down at spring training, you're hanging out with Harry Carey and Steve back in the day. All the players. You're a fly on the wall and you've got some great video that you put out on YouTube on the Boys of Spring, which is your website. Everybody should check that out as well. And I could see how you could instantly also, even without telling people about the Cubs, be the man in kickball at Powderhorn Park as well, just and get involved in your community, because that's just the kind of guy you are. And I did post a link in the chat. It's all wonky with a bunch of random code. But there's a Minneapolis St. Paul ways to support the immigrant ways to support all different kinds of communities, food pantries and things like that. And rent relief. Powderhorn Park was in that list as well, by the way, that Powderhorn Park rent relief. It was one of the first places. So certainly check that out if you can, and give to it. And we'll get through this together. I believe in us, because, these fuckers always flame out. They just do. They can't. They're too incompetent to win. But I did want to talk about something competent that you've been doing recently, which is a brand new YouTube series. You've released one, or a TikTok or whatever. You've released one episode so far, which is baseball and other salacious stories. This is something new?
That was new. I want to say like a year ago.
Okay.
Okay.
So the problem was I had like a personal TikTok account that I would actually, and if anyone wants to check that out, that's kind of cool, because that is literally just like my life in Minneapolis throughout the spring, summer, and fall, where I like film what's going on. And it's, like you have fire dancing by the lake. You have people playing different musical instruments on places where I just happen to show up, and or all kinds of just things. It's not me talking, it's me, like an amazing sunset on the lake, because one of the things I love is I live 200 steps from a beach on a lake in Minneapolis. It's a city of lakes, so that's not hard to do, but it's an amazing spot for sunsets as well. But so I did try to do the baseball and other salacious stories, but then I had some issues with TikTok having 2 accounts, and so it made it very difficult. So that really never got going. But that's kind of in a bigger process that I'm working on, which is kind of involved in something I'm doing here for spring training. About one time each week, I'm going to do like a program. So last year I got involved in breweries and baseball tour. I started that, which was great. And it was a lot of fun, but I realized how difficult it is to go around and show people and drive them around and stop at breweries. And, by the time the second brewery's done, people are like, oh, we got to still drive more and do whatever. So, yeah, it's like, anyhow. So, when
Plus
I got going.
Drunk. You're wasted off your ass, and it's just even more difficult to do things.
Yeah, I mean, it makes things a little difficult. It's like, herding cats. But anyhow, what I'm doing this year is I'm having a central place, and it's yet to be determined, but possibly a brewery here, where I'm going to have people come to one central spot. I'm going to put on a presentation that's going to be an hour long. And this year, the presentation is going to be, this is the working title, Spring to Eternity Inside the Cubs' Long Road Home Through the Eyes, the Voice, and the Lens of Tim Sheridan. So what that is because we're coming on the 10-year anniversary of the World Series, amazingly, and we haven't won another one. But anyhow, we did get that one. And the team is up and coming. So, like, there's hope. This is like, but anyhow.
We look good. We look good, Tim.
I was always around filming all the way up and right, before Theo came over. And so this is going to be like an intimate look at how the Cubs were built with my archival footage. It's a multimedia presentation, and we're going to drink beers, and we're going to have a ton of fun for about an hour. Then there'll be a little Q&A, and then we'll just talk baseball and have a blast for like another half hour. So I'll do that once a week throughout spring training.
That's amazing, Tim. You will have to let us know, and we'll post about it. We'll talk about it right here. We do this once a week, so we can get your word out when you find out where you're going to do it. And if people don't realize, Tim is also a photographer and has taken many amazing pictures. So I can imagine this multimedia show would be amazing to see.
Well, thank you. I think it is. It's something that I've been working on for quite a while, because honestly, I feel like you can have programs that are a lot more immersive than they have been in the past, because of the way that you can like project things onto ceilings, onto places, and sounds. I want to utilize, what is it like if you're sitting somewhere and you hear like right next to you the pop of a catcher's mitt on 105 mile fastball? What does that sound like? I'm telling you, it's freaking insane. So I want to try and really, amp up what like multimedia formats are doing, even on a smaller venue like I'm talking. And, if things go well, the Baseball and Other Salacious Stories is essentially my life. It would be like something of essentially like part Cubs, baseball, humanity, whatever.
History.
Comedy, definitely history. And to make history interesting, that's the thing, because it is interesting in my book, but that's just me.
Can I play? I'm going to play. It's a minute 54, but I'm going to play your flipping the bird video that you did. You said this is a year old, but I found it really interesting. Michael, you're going to love this. This is kind of something that you would uncover with one of your rabbit holes, But I won't say anything more about it. I'm just going to play the video because it really entertained me when I found it. Here it is.
Welcome to the first installment of Baseball and Other Salacious Stories, showcasing some interesting and possibly salacious stories in baseball history and in my personal history of having been around Major League Baseball and having been a Cubs announcer for, many decades. And why today? Today is Old Hoss Radbourn's birthday. Yeah, some old baseball pitcher that was born in the 1800s. Why do we care? Do we care? Nobody cares. But what makes Old Hoss interesting and possibly salacious is not that he won 60 games in a season as a pitcher, which is freaking insane because that's a record that will never, ever be broken. Old Hoss was recorded in a photo of doing something that historians say is the first time they'd ever seen done in a photograph. Because he saw some opponents behind the photographer, Old Hoss decided to, slip a little bird in there. That's right, Old Hoss is the first person that we know of that was recorded in a photo flipping the bird. It had been around for a long time, but this is, as far as we know, the first time it was photographed. My grandfather used to call it the truck driver's salute. And Old Hoss's nickname maybe did prove to be accurate, because in this particular photo right here, Old Hoss is 32 years old. What? Old Hoss. He was old. Roadburn. Radborn. Roadborn. Roadburn. A little Old Hoss flippage. We'll catch you next time on Baseball and Other Salacious Stories. Until then, Old Hoss. That's not directed at you.
The Old Hoss.
That was great.
I worked one in there.
That was amazing, and I just love the idea that picture exists with him flipping a bird, because that is totally something you do when you're like, I don't know, like a high schooler or something in your school baseball picture or something.
I just kind of slide it in there.
I did it. Listen, I got caught in junior high, St. James Junior High, Arlington Heights. I sat like this, and I did everything. I was like this, sitting there, and I got caught. The principal, I got called down to the principal. They had to retake the photos without me in them, and they wanted my parents to pay, and they refused to pay. Mostly because they didn't have the money. And also I lied. I was like, I'm holding a pencil. Like I literally used that as an excuse. And my dad half believed me. He just didn't want to pay, I think, though.
Can we talk about how baseball is now apparently the site of the first flipping of the bird during a photo and the birthplace of the high five?
Yeah,
That's
100
incredible.
years apart. Yeah.
America's pastime, y'all.
Exactly.
It leads the way. Those are amazing. I just love the style of them. You obviously have a deep love of baseball history and the lore of the game, and from hanging out in the backfields, all those springs, and I do encourage everybody to go to Tim's YouTube channel, because there's just a ton of stuff there. That's great. So spring training obviously has changed throughout the years. It used to be, $5 and you just, maybe sneak in a couple of beers. And now it's just basically the same price as going to Wrigley. It's a way to get people out of the city, out of the cold, down into Mesa. It's big business for the hotels. So you've seen a lot of the growth of spring training. So can you talk about maybe some of the differences between back then and now?
I'll give you two really big differences from the beginning when I started until the evolution, until things changed. One thing, at the old Holcomb Park, when I started in 1984, which was a great year to start, a great spring. Until 1989, they did not sell beer at old Holcomb Park. No beer.
Mistake. That was a mistake.
Yeah, well, also...
You snuck it in, though, right? I mean,
people did, but remember, this was Mesa's like a Mormon town, and
that sounds like an Arizona thing. Yeah,
a Mesa thing, really.
I grew up in Price, Utah. I understand.
Yeah,
yeah. There you go.
Sure.
Oh, Dry County.
Yeah, and so that was one thing. There's like no beer. Okay, that's weird. But anyhow, they also did not play music between innings. Because they, as I was told, they were afraid they didn't want to pay the ASCAP fees or whatever. And so
that sounds like the cops.
Well, see, you got to remember, this was the Holcombs who were like involved in like running the press box. Then again, things are so different because the Cubs, when they went to Sloan Park, they took control of everything. So the Holcombs was a civic group, as you may know, that helped bring the Cubs to Mesa in 1952 from Catalina Island, where they were training out there all by themselves, basically most every year. And then for about 30 years, they were out on the island. But anyhow, they came to Mason in 1952, and the whole comms said, "Hey, we'll kind of help take care of things, including things like the press box." So they are actually the people who hired me. They're the people who came to that class and said, "Who wants to help out?" And they paid my incredible wage when I started. I think it was either $10 or $20 a game. I don't remember which. I would have done it for free anyhow, but that's okay.
That was honestly, that was better than minimum wage back then.
Yeah, well, it's a whole game, so it's like I was there for like 5 hours probably.
No, so 5 hours, it's right around minimum wage then. I guess. But I was like, I'm thinking like a 3-hour game, $20.
Yeah,
like, you're making bank back then.
I was not complaining. But the fact is, I told him, I was like, hey, it is just so dead. It's like a scrimmage. You have to have music here. That's just like all major league parks, and I think other spring training parks at the time had music between innings. It's just like, so they got a little cassette deck and a little mixer underneath it, and I played the music at the same time as doing the public address announcing. So, surprisingly, it was very effective because I would have like 2 songs on each cassette, so I could play the song and then flip it over, play the next song, and I just had a box of tapes, cassette tapes there, which I still have, by the way, and then I would just mix it the right level on the little mixer, so either they could hear me and hear the music behind, like stage. For a rudimentary system, it worked pretty well, but again, those are the old days. That's a vast difference from today with walk-up music and you name it. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is those are amazing stories because most people don't realize that when they were at Hohokam, that was not the Cubs sort of running that. That was like, they had the everything on the field, right?
They never owned that stadium, right? The Cubs, did they ever buy it? It was always a
no. That was the city of Mesa that owned that stadium.
Yeah, and now the A's are there.
Parking in people's yards.
Oh yeah,
I went to spring training one time there, and I had to park in the yard.
And and the stadium also isn't very built up. The A's since then have really done a nice renovation of that stadium, and it's one of the closer stadiums to Sloan Park. And it might. And I always want to give this advice because for people that are going out there maybe for the first time, because people think, oh, it's just all in Phoenix, so I can I'll go to one game in the afternoon over in the Dodger Stadium, then I'll go to one over and see the A's, and the Valley's big, and it takes a while to get from one place to another. And some places it's really hard just to get out of the parking lot a lot of times. So you got to, save your, plan it well. When you look at the schedule, I'd say the closest teams to the Cubs, if you want to catch some away games from Sloan, would be the Rockies, who share with the Diamondbacks. The A's are real close, and Scottsdale's close with the Giants, and that's pretty much the only close.
Well, you could get over to the Angels over in Tempe.
Angels,
fairly close. Yeah,
that's
El Diablo.
So the interesting thing about Holcomb in my mind is when the Cubs left, the A's they didn't take it over immediately. They did a year renovation, and so what they did is because the Cubs drew so well, they took out 2 grandstands out on each end. Because the A's don't draw that well, they never have. Even it's just these are facts.
We know.
So
they play in a AAA field at the moment.
Right, exactly. So they took out those 2 grandstands and they made like areas that are like bars and areas where kids can go and fans can hang out, and it really works well for them because they don't need those extra seats for fans. They don't have it. In fact, I was asked a couple of years back now it was an emergency situation, if I could announce a couple A's games. I think it was about 5 of them. I'm like, hey, maybe, but I can't do it if they're playing the Cubs because that would be like, I don't know what I would be doing. Like, it's like that wouldn't, and they're like, no, Cubs aren't in this. What we need you for these 5 games that the Cubs aren't involved. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. my schedule worked out where I could. One of those games, and this is the thing, over at Holcomb, a lot of times, most times we'll be over like 14,000, but sell out over 16. 700 fans. I'm like, I could have like leaned out the window and just like, hey, 700 fans for a spring training game. Was like, well, I'm sorry,
Yeah, I
like the A's
don't need
and the
this
Rockies split squad.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be needing this microphone today, guys. I'm just going to yell out the window. they can hear me.
I mean, Danny's advice is apt though, because like Phoenix is such a big place. I have not had the privilege of being at a spring training game, but I go to the Arizona Fall League every year, and we're like constantly negotiating, like who's going to drive to Peoria, who's got the trip to Surprise, like who's going to Talking Stick. Like it's a puzzle that you have to piece together, and these are not.
The surprise is how far it is. Surprise!
Right.
It's far.
Some of these 20 minutes.
Surprise! It took an hour and a half.
A lot longer.
Yeah.
Well, I remember the White Sox used to play in Tucson, which is like 2 hours away.
Yeah.
Diamondbacks as well.
That's where my parents met Cotton.
Oh, in Tucson?
Yeah.
Tucson.
Nice.
And the other thing is, Sloan Park is the nicest of all the parks, in my opinion. It's the newest as well, so it would stand to reason. Some of them are absolute dumps, though. They have. I mean, at Tempe Diablo, I kind of liked it there, but it was like the poor players, they had to like walk through the fans on the berm in the outfield, and everybody just kind of makes way. It's real old school. This spring is the World Baseball Classic, and I know Sarah's going to go down to Puerto Rico and see our friend Jose Orlando. I got to hook you up with his number because we got boots on the ground down there, and the Cubs are actually playing a game against Team Italy at Sloan Park, so that should be interesting.
We actually, I don't think it was the last one of those World Baseball Classics. The Cubs played Team Italy as well. I think that might have been back in Holcomb before they moved over. Maybe not, but I think Rizzo was on Team Italy.
He was.
So, yeah.
Rizzo
that was weird.
On Team Italy for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and they always want to play an easy team like Italy. I mean, let's face it. I mean,
hey, Danny, the Cubs have played a couple of times. They played Japan. So, and those were interesting games.
Those were good games. I mean, and I did take a look at the World Baseball Classic pools. We're in Pool B with Italy. USA.
Speak for yourself with that.
I know. I'm not really. I never go for. My team was Puerto Rico the last time. Maybe it wasn't the last time. It was the time before.
Wait, okay. I have to.
How insane it is that we have Puerto Rico and the United States.
Listen,
they are technically the same.
Well,
country,
but Puerto Rico has decided they want their own team, and I respect it.
Yeah, I would too.
So this is going to be my second World Baseball Classic. I went last time in Miami, and I got to see Venezuela play Puerto Rico and Venezuela play the Dominican Republic. Baseball over everything. Like, it was the most incredible. Like, Latino baseball is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. And when I saw that there was a wheel in Puerto Rico, I was like, yes, that is happening. Because the only thing I could imagine that is better than watching the Dominican Republic play in Miami is like, let's go to Puerto Rico and see this.
It's even better.
That's
real. Even closer.
But let me just say, so this is a true story. So we're leaving the game where Venezuela has just beaten Puerto Rico. And the Venezuelans are on like cloud nine because they're like, we have beaten the Dominican Republic. We've beaten Puerto Rico. You all are in a death match now, and we're in. And my friend and I are trying to get food late at night in Little Havana near the Miami Marlins Stadium. We thought we could walk through a McDonald's drive-through. You can't do that. They won't let you. But so we're like getting kicked out of the McDonald's parking lot.
Not. Yeah.
I don't know.
Me and Michael found this out in high school. Sarah just found out.
I have problems with, like, the dine-in room is not open. We can only go through the drive-through. We just don't have a car anyway. They wouldn't let us. So we're like getting kicked out of the McDonald's parking lot. And there's some Puerto Ricans right there hanging out. And I look at my phone and realize that Mexico is beating the United States. And I'm like, we got to go. We got to go right now because I am watching every second of this game. And if you have not watched the game where Mexico beats the United States in Phoenix, just go watch that whole broadcast. It is incredible. It is unbelievable. That stadium is like 80% Mexican cheering fans from Phoenix and like 20% American cheering fans from the United States. There's a moment where Joey Meneses has hit like his third home run and they're chanting MVP for Joey Meneses. And the Americans try to start an MVP chant for Mike Trout and they can't, which is like that in and of itself is incredible. And there's this like whole 2-inning like area where John Smoltz tries to riddle out what is happening to the United States of America in this game that you just have to listen to and hear for yourself. But the last thing I want to say about this was maybe Javier Assad's finest moment, because Javier Assad comes in this game and he throws 3 innings. He gives up 1 hit to Mike Trout. He basically like roasts the entirety of the United States lineup. And I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That was the game that actually got me super excited about Javier Assad. And I will say probably still sort of gives me a little bit of a rosy glasses with him. I'm always on his side because of like how amazing that was. And I've always in like knowing, oh, this guy's on the Cubs and he's mowing people down. I was very into it, very excited.
Any concerns about some of the Cubs that are going to be participating in this? I mean, they were going to be at spring training anyway, but you were just talking about the much higher level of competition. These guys are playing for it. You know, I think Palencia is doing it.
Yeah, I have not looked at a whole. So
Palencia,
I do
say
about this. So one of the guys I play in a fantasy baseball league with claims to have done some tracking and that like the guys who play in the World Baseball Classic don't come in as strong as the guys who don't and all this stuff. I think that's real. I think that like you're not getting quite the same type of workout that you're getting at spring training. I think in spring training, you're a lot more likely to be working on a thing and like focusing on it. Nobody cares if you gave up 7 runs or whatever. Javier Assad, when he came into that game against the United States, he was throwing like 2 miles per hour over his standard fastball. Like it was clear that he was not going to be the dude who lost Mexico a game against the United States. And he did not care. And like, so that will happen, right? Like guys will come in and they are playing for their country and they mean it. And particularly for pitchers, I think that could be an issue. The only other place I've seen that be an issue, and you know, I always love it when I can throw some shade at the St. Louis Cardinals. Wilson Contreras did not play in the World Baseball Classic last time because he had just signed that big deal with the Cardinals and he wanted to get to know their pitchers. Like that was explicitly why he did not play for Venezuela. And then all of the Cardinals pitchers went and played in the World Baseball Classic and then got mad at him for not knowing their pitches. It was like Waino and Flaherty and Michaelis, like all those guys left to go play in the World Baseball Classic. They're like, Wilson Contreras doesn't know our stuff. I'm like, you skipped spring training.
Yeah, anyway. That's ridiculous. Tim, you've gotten, like you said, the Cubs have played Japan before and they've played Italy. So you've gotten to actually call some of these games.
Yeah.
Like, what is there any? I mean, there has to be some difference, but like, what is the difference, I guess, between calling the Cubs playing against one of the national teams versus them just doing, against the Giants on a Wednesday night?
It's all exhibition.
Well, yeah, it's exhibition. So it really, it's not like that energy that you see when they're playing in the real championship games for the World Baseball Classic, that kind of thing. But as Sarah said, there's this energy that's a little bit more than a regular exhibition game because it's a country playing against the Cubs, who are a Major League Baseball team. And one of my favorite ones was actually, and I know this now, thinking back, was at HOCOM before they moved over to Sloan. And I think Javier Baez was still a prospect, maybe. Pretty sure. And Javi hit a walk-off home run, but that energy there was Japanese fans in the crowd doing the drums, the whole 9 yards. It was not like a regular spring training game, which was really kind of cool. That extra energy, because spring training in general is spring training. The starters play for 4 or 5 innings in the beginning, and then they take all 9 guys out, and here's the minor league guys, whatnot. But so that, I think, in the Cubs kind of leveled up to that kind of energy. And when Javi hit that home run, I actually did a Cub Talk episode just of that, like, final at bat of Javi was going back and forth when he hit the home run. And the Japanese team, I think they took their hats off to Javi for the home run, which, again, sportsmanship and things like this, interesting. Yeah. Like, it's a societal thing.
Yeah.
It's the coolest environment that I have ever watched baseball in. And, like, you've got guys on pitch limits and there's weird stuff going on. And, like, it's like, oh, you're not going to see exactly like the same type of environment where you're going to see, like, Pablo Lopez came in and threw like 5 innings of one-hit baseball. And I just have never seen a crowd so into Pablo Lopez. Never. Like, and we're in Miami, and he's a Miami Marlin at the time. And I'm like, I don't think the city of Miami has ever seen this. We were talking to...
I don't think that the stadium in Miami has seen a crowd like that.
They don't. Right? No. They don't. So, like, we're literally in the stands for the first game, Dominican Republic versus Venezuela. And we're talking to this guy who's next to us, who turns out is like Tristan Casas's uncle. But he's a season ticket holder, and he's telling us about the park and all this stuff. And he's like, those seats up there they don't even open those seats. Like, those are usually like blacked out, like nobody sits there. It's fine. For the World Baseball Classic, that place will be packed. 90% of the people in that place will be speaking Spanish. And like twice while we were there, the escalator just like kicked out because people were dancing on the escalator because there were like people with the bongo drums up on the concourse, and like the escalator can't handle that. There is a list of musical instruments that you can and cannot bring into the World Baseball Classic, and it's incredible. Like, you cannot bring your vuvuzela, but you can bring your kazoo. It's like, why? I don't know, but it's great.
Well, I have a vuvuzela right behind me if you want to hear why.
Well, fair. But so I'm going to be there in Puerto Rico. I'm going to be there in Miami. I will never miss the World Baseball Classic. It's the best baseball I've ever seen in my life. And if you have a chance to go, you should go.
And,
well, I hope it comes off like wonderfully as it has in the past, and that we don't like maybe have ice or things spoil stuff.
I know.
I hope not.
I hate to even say that, but
no,
the way our country's going, it's like it might scare people off that they're in a place all together, and who knows? Who the fuck knows these days? Anyhow,
no, that's real. No, that's real, and I agree. And I don't know how this country is going to host the World Baseball Classic, the World Cup, the Olympics.
World
like,
Cup,
what are we?
Exactly.
I'm actually, I've been a little vocal on Twitter when I've seen stuff. Not that I have any say in the matter. I feel like people should boycott it. Really. I mean, if at this point, like the fans should probably boycott, players should, maybe entire countries should boycott it, and really just kind of bring shame upon the administration. Not that they care, because they're shameless bozos, but at some point you're just going to have to shut it down completely, and I do wonder, and this was actually one of the questions that I had, and I kind of want to go around, is if this is situation of what is going on in Minnesota right now, and this was going on also, they upped what they did in Chicago, they did it in North Carolina, they did it in LA, they did it in New York. And the thing that about Minnesota that's happening is it's just a much smaller city. So if you put 2,000 agents in there and it's going to dwarf their own police department, it's going to make a lot more chaos for a lot more people than it did in Chicago, which is a big city, which had fewer agents than just Minnesota has. So let's say they put 2,000 agents in every freaking city that has a baseball team in America. We're getting canceled games. There's going to be chaos in the streets on some days, and I worry that they're not even going to be able to pull off a baseball season in a COVID-y way, which was also under Trump.
They have already detained Jung Ho Lee coming to like Giants Fan Fest because he didn't have his paperwork perfectly in order. I'm like, what are we doing, man? Like this is bananas. And the fear is real because it's not just the guys who travel with the major league squad who like go, they have like a whole staff devoted to making sure they have all their stuff in order and everything is okay. Single A, complex ball, high A, like these are players who do not have the language skills or the support to somebody. These players are going to get harassed and these players are going to get treated terribly. And it is wrong. It is 100% wrong.
Well, and you're a single A baseball player. You're from the Dominican Republic. You're on a visa. You're out at a bar in the middle of bumblefuck single A-ville. And ICE comes in and you're trying to explain yourself in Spanish. You don't show up at the bus the next day. Like we're going to hear this story. Like it's already writing itself because we already see the chaos that's happening. So it's heartbreaking. I mean, I just feel like the only answer we can do is to keep organizing, keep our community strong, and give each other the support. I know not everybody feels helpless, but we can, if everybody does a little bit every day, whether it's giving a little bit to the park relief form, Powderhorn, Park Rent Relief, or one of those other organizations, just to, even if it's giving that or calling your congressman or giving to a food bank locally or supporting immigrants relief or we like at the theater, we would support Refugee One. Any little bit that we all do, there's more of us than there are of them, and there's no way they could stop us, and
that's it.
We just cannot be kowtowed. I know they're going to try to get us all, but we can't be scared.
Hey, can I just say, like, whatever you're comfortable with, like, push yourself 10% beyond what you're comfortable with. So, like, Danny knows this, but I'm not a crowds person. I don't really love, like, being out and about in, like, thousands and thousands of people. I went to the No Kings March with our Cubs group, and I'm so glad I did. It was inspiring and it was empowering. And at one point, I think there was, like, a 2-mile long like stretch of people through the city of Chicago, because that was when we were being what is going on in Minneapolis now was happening in Chicago on a much smaller scale. And like I don't know why they went so much harder at Minneapolis than they did at Chicago. Like I genuinely don't. Like what they're doing in Minneapolis is insane, and it feels like it looks like a war zone to me, and the people I know in Minneapolis describe it as such. And like what happened in Chicago was bad. Like it was very weird to be like, oh my God, I was just walking there and they just kidnapped somebody, or they tear gassed a street 3 blocks away from me. I don't leave my house without a whistle, and I haven't since last fall, and I don't think I'll ever leave my house without a whistle again. But like, I don't think what happened in Chicago is quite what happened in I think they were like practicing, and now they're doing more.
Yeah, and here's the thing, in my opinion, the reason why Minneapolis is because Trump is obsessed with Minnesota. I think at some point they were saying it was close to 4,000 ICE, whatever kind of, Border Patrol. Combination of all of the above. Of 4,000, the city currently has 600 police officers. And it's a sanctuary where basically they just don't help with immigration. It's not their job. Their job is for the people of the city, and they protect and serve the people of the city, not do immigration. But they have actually worked with the feds to, get like violent criminals who are illegal, whatever. That's all lies. So Trump said, I think this was like, I want to say a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, he said, I shit you not, he said, I won Minnesota actually all 3 times.
I heard him say, yeah.
There is no way in hell he would ever win Minnesota. That's just the thing. So he wants to make a statement with Minnesota because it's the bluest of blue states, and they don't like it, and it works. Minneapolis is a great city. I do tours of the hidden Minneapolis over the summer. It's so beautiful. Any people that I come and have join me from out of state. I take them around. They're like, this is like one of the most beautiful, amazing cities I've ever seen. This is last summer, okay? There's, the whole like mantra, it's freaking lies and brainwash. And they call it like a shithole city. The people who don't like it for whatever reason, politically and otherwise, it's just bullshit. So, I'm sorry. I just had to say that all of that.
No, it is bullshit.
Did.
It's 100% bullshit. I mean, you sent me a video talking about how the Lutherans that settled Minneapolis are just the nicest, most Christian, welcoming people. And that's how all the people from Africa ended up living there, because they're like, we will take them. We will bring them into our communities. We will make sure they have jobs. We will make sure they get their citizenship and learn English. We will make sure, like, they did it. And Trump hates that shit because they were successful. They were successful, and he's mad that the multiculturalism that he can't handle
actually works.
working.
And the thing is, they've done it before. They did it after Vietnam with the Hmong population that came from Laos and different places that were refugees there in the 70s. And I remember that. My dad actually worked in the union. He was a union organizer when I was a kid. And so I knew kind of politically what was going on, even though, my brain wasn't developed to really understand. But it took a few years for the Hmong population to get settled and acclimated. And now they are some of the strongest members of our community. In fact, the new mayor of St. Paul is of Hmong descent. I don't even think she was born in the United States. It's just like, that's the thing. When you demonize people and others, and this is kind of honestly the same stuff that was going on in Germany in the 30s, that's what you have, because when places work and people are, copacetic and things are going, you have to do something to make that seem bad. So you demonize, and then he's trying to make a show of this whole thing. And so far, Minneapolis isn't taking the bait. 50,000 people, over 50,000 people marched peacefully. The next day, they shot Alex Pretty and just murder him in the street. Here's one little fact that I think is worth saying. The Minneapolis Police Department, all of last year, took 900 guns off the street, and they never killed one person. Our own federal government has killed 2 people. In fact, there's only been 3 murders in the city of Minneapolis this year, and 2 of those are Minneapolis U.S. citizens by our own government.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's outrageous.
No, exactly. Salute, man.
Yeah. No, old Hoss Radbird. Old Hoss, baby.
Along those lines, Tim, I just have to say, like, what's happening, I'm just like, my heart just bleeds every day over what's happening in Minneapolis. But I will say this, on the long game of this, they fucked up, because they came for Chicago and then they came for Minneapolis. And you will not find 2 better organized cities in the world. You will not find people who are willing to step out for their neighbors more in the world. You will not find people who understand the assignment more in the world. And we are teaching everybody else in the United States of America what you do when ICE comes to your city. And it is you find your people, you find the trainings, you protect your neighbors, you get your cell phone out and you fucking hit record, and you do not stop, because they can't come for all of us, man. Like, they can come for some of us. They cannot come for all of us. And we will document and we will show that we are better than this. And they fucked up, man. You came for the wrong cities first, so you're going to lose.
I'm a little worried about when they go to Philly, because I think that we didn't take the bait, but Philly, I don't know. But Philly could also maybe beat them all as well. So
maybe, exactly. Like, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to mess with Philly, man. I'm just saying. But yeah, it's like, it reminds me of there's a line from the movie, the old classic Casablanca. And it's like Victor Laszlo, who's the guy they're all trying to persecute and the Nazis are trying to get. And basically, he's like, if you kill me, more are going to come. And I'm paraphrasing, but, hundreds, thousands are going to take my place. Even Nazis can't kill that fast. I mean, that's kind of it right there in my mind.
Yeah.
And by the way, Opinions expressed by Tim Sheridan here do not have anything to do with the Chicago Cubs Baseball Club. Or let me get that out
we
there.
know that.
We know how the Cubs feel about things, unfortunately. Yeah, I do follow Pete. I follow Pete Ricketts on Twitter, unfortunately.
Pete Ricketts, like 2 days ago, was like, I don't know, man. We might need to check out what's going on with DHS and ICE. I'm just not sure. I was like, Pete Ricketts is like, if you've lost Pete Ricketts, you're done.
Yeah.
Pete Ricketts tweeted out the other day that aborted babies who live should receive life-saving care. And I was like, what? And I'm like, how often does this happen? And it just basically doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know, like it's only and that would only happen in a time where like they wanted the baby, you know, like they were trying to have the baby and she was dying or there was an accident or something, you know, it had nothing to do. But Pete Ricketts is talking about this. I'm like, dude, sell the Cubs to me and the other fans. And please do not make us read these horrible tweets. This is what you think about all day, Pete, because I need you thinking about who our fourth outfielder is. Let's go.
Baseball.
Charles McCormick and Kevin Alcantara. What is the matter with you?
Well, no, the Cubs don't like him. I've already ship has sailed on that guy. They just hate him. Well, I do wish you a great spring. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to come out there this year. I'm busy.
Damn it!
I know. I couldn't get out till like the last week, but by that point, you know, the Cubs will be here. I'll just wait.
By that point, they've already started the season in Japan.
Yeah,
the season's already started.
Last year. One interesting note about spring training this year, at least for me, because like I have a small window of when I'm around the team for like a month and a half and these games, and they play the Yankees 2 games exhibitions at the end, and the Yankees haven't been here since 1951 when they did an exchange of spring training sites with the New York Giants back then. And so that's actually what helped get the Cubs here is the Yankees being here in Arizona, and they traveled off to California and stuff. But Joe DiMaggio had said, hey, I think this is going to be like my last year. And everyone's like, what? Because he had hit like 36 home runs and like 300 something. And they're like, come on, man. But they had a 19-year-old rookie who hit like 19 home runs that spring by the name of Mickey Mantle. And so there was the Cubs played a couple exhibitions, and there were so many fans there. That's when Wrigley said, I think we need to make that move. So it's the first time the Yankees have been here for spring training since that. So it's kind of a little historical side note that
75 years. Yeah.
Quite a while.
Yeah, it's a hell of a long time at this point. Well, I wish you a great spring. We're going to let you go and take a little quick break and just a little commercial. We're going to come back, talk about what Jed talked about with David Kaplan, which it wasn't much, but might as well discuss it because it's the only thing that happened this week. And,
it is our Cubs news, yeah.
It is our Cubs news. And we'll take a spin of the bitch clock, and that should be a little bit of fun. But, Tim, have a great spring training and all the best.
Thank you so much.
All your people in Minnesota, please tell them that, everybody that Chicago's pulling for them. We're going to get through this together. Fuck ICE, fuck Trump, and,
Old Hoss Radburn.
And like,
Old Hoss Radburn.
Give the old Hoss.
Driver salute. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. Enjoyed hanging out. Let's do it again, and I'll let you know when I got those dates for the Cubs 10-year anniversary program I'm going to be putting on at the World Series win.
Absolutely, because I know we'll have some people going down there. Would love to check it out and like to spread the word about that incredible event. But thanks for coming on, Tim. And
my pleasure, as always.
And we will talk to you real soon. Michael, do you have a silhouette?
I do. A Son Ranto silhouette coming at you.
I almost forgot.
I'm going to pop it up there. This is
Old Hoss Radburn. That's who it is.
Old Hoss Radburn. So this is a baseball card, and if it looks really old, it is in the style of the 1952 Topps cards. Okay, that's going to be a little bit of a hint.
Style.
But this card it came out in like 1985. So, it's possible one of us could have actually had cards like this, but they were just doing this with some of the old players, but also, so you have a chance to look at it. You can look, but for the listeners, if you want to play the game, here's the clue. His nickname was the Rifleman, but not because he threw anybody out.
Okay. That's your clue for the listeners at home, and we'll be right back. Please support us at Patreon.com/Bleacher Bunch.
Yeah.
I need another coffee. Here we go.
Yeah.
The Bleacher Bunch brings you great shows like Sun Ranto, Cubs PS Plus, Bricks Behind the Ivy, Cup of Cubby Blue, and Baseball Rabbit Hole. But you could be getting so much more when you subscribe to our Patreon page for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/BleacherBunch. Get access to our exclusive daily show Cubs Pod, where we recap every single game. Plus, be the first to hear Cubs music, get early access to events, and receive an invitation to join our Discord Cubs community, where fans just like you show up every day to rant and rave about our beloved boys in blue. Most importantly, 10% of your Patreon pledge will go directly to help the Lost Boys Youth Baseball program. So join us. There are perks at every level, like the Renter Calendar, absolutely free, and name recognition for you or your business. We are independent Cubs podcasters, and we need your support. Otherwise, we'll quit. Seriously, we'll all quit. Some of us might even die from your lack of support. In fact, the cutest little puppy you've ever seen will die if you don't support the Bleacher Bunch at patreon.com/BleacherBunch. We promise to spend all the Patreon money on tickets and beer and all the dung crap we have to buy just to keep our podcast rolling. So give us your money, and we'll waste it far better than you will. Patreon.com/BleacherBunch. Free trials are available, but don't do a free trial. Just join, okay? Okay. Patreon.com/BleacherBunch.
In the clutch, in the clutch. Buy t-shirts from In the Clutch. Take it from the Bleacher Bunch. You'll love the shirts from In the Clutch.
In the Clutch shirts are comfortable, stylish, and guaranteed to get you laid. Plus, they're proud sponsors of the Bleacher Bunch. Use promo code Bleacher Bunch for 10% off your purchase.
Nice to feel and soft to touch. That's why you will get laid so much. Wearing a shirt from In the Clutch. And you can thank the Bleacher Bunch. In the Clutch, in the Clutch. Buy t-shirts from In the Clutch. Remember the code Bleacher Bunch. Save 10% at In the Clutch. In the Clutch. In the Clutch.
In the Clutch shirts actually not really guaranteed to get you laid.
Who's that old hoss Radburn?
All right. Let me get my pictures up here. It is. Wait, let me see. Did anybody in the comments get this?
Yeah, we didn't ask people in the comments. Also,
no.
hashtag chance in the chat as well.
Yeah, literally nobody guessed.
Nobody knows who it is.
I mean,
Nobody
we didn't really ask them to guess.
Well, we always
We
do.
implied it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, if you're just guessing on your own and you don't know, it is Chuck Connors.
Nope.
Yes. Chuck Connors. This dude was such an athlete. He played professional basketball in the NBA, 1948. And then he decided, well, you know what? Play a little baseball. Loved the Brooklyn Dodgers. Got on the Brooklyn Dodgers, played like a game, right? Ended up going to the Cubs. And in 1951, he played 66 games for the Cubs at first base. But he just wasn't all that good. He was obviously an amazing athlete to be able to just, well, I'm going to go play some professional basketball, and now I'm going to go play some professional baseball. But he played 66 games. They sent him off to their AAA team, which happened to be in Los Angeles. And Chuck Connors found out that he could make himself a pretty good living as the rifleman. Yeah, he's that Chuck Connors became the rifleman on TV.
I remember that. Yeah.
And was
that is.
Chuck. It's an old
school
1950s
Western.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he left. Okay, so he was a basketball player, and then he was a baseball player, and then he was on a TV show.
Yeah,
a bunch of TV shows,
and he was the star of the Rifleman for like a long time. That's why. So, and it was a little bit of a wishy-washy clue. As a player, he was never called the Rifleman. He only became the Rifleman after he got that shot. But the only reason he was in Los Angeles is because that's where the Cubs AAA team was. They were the I think they were the Los Angeles Angels. And he went out there and played at Wrigley Field because there was a Los Angeles Wrigley Field. And he went out there and then he was like, yeah, I'm going to try out this acting thing, and became a very famous actor.
Well, the Angels being a AAA team makes way too much sense. But like, I want to get back to the part where this guy was basically Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan.
Yeah. And if Michael Jordan was in a Western, a long-running Western on TV.
I don't know how that would go, but we could try it.
Yeah,
he's like the Shabuzi of Westerns.
Yeah. No, I actually did a baseball rabbit hole a few years ago about athletes that played two sports, baseball players who played multiple sports, because of course, famous in Cubs lore is Fergie Jenkins. Like Fergie Jenkins played on the Harlem Globetrotters, which you may think, oh, well, that's not really professional basketball, but that's a very high level of ball. Yeah.
I like favorite Fergie stat. That and like the thing where he was a hockey player for like the Canadian junior national team or whatever. I'm like, Fergie Jenkins is a stud, man. Like that dude can play whatever. Like give him a thing, he's like, yes, I will play that.
Yep, absolutely. But yeah, and Chuck Connors was just one of these guys that just happened to have every goddamn gift ever fucking created, because he was.
I would have hated him.
I personally don't think he's attractive, but he was clearly like leading man attractive. He was tall. He could play basketball. He could play baseball. He was like, he kind of hit the lottery in the whole biology thing.
He's got a hard look. Like it's a good actor look. Like he's look a tough guy look. You
want to look unique but palatable. Like he's got a uniqueness but a palatability. Like there's nothing about him that you cringe at. That you're like, ooh,
no, but
he's easy enough on the eyes. Yeah,
but I'm saying he looks really good in a hat. Is what I'm saying, because he's got a 5 head. Yeah, that dude's got a massive head that goes way up. But when you cover that with a cowboy hat or a ball cap, you're good.
Why basketball didn't work out?
Yeah, he kind of looks like Lurch from the old Addams family.
Yeah, he kept blocking people's view of the basket in basketball. Like, yeah, get that head out of the way. I can't see. All right, so Jed went on David Kaplan. It was okay. I mean, they did it. I loved that Kaplan and Gordo talked to Jed like dudes that knew him. That they had all been in the room together. And because it was a podcast setting and not a press conference setting, it felt like people were a little bit more relaxed than in other settings.
Yes.
I have an overarching opinion about Jed Hoyer in the last 3 months that I just want to put out here right now because I think it's relevant. Jed Hoyer has seemed way more relaxed ever since he got to the playoffs and did kind of okay than at any other point in time that Jed Hoyer has been in charge of the Cubs. I noticed it at CubsCon. I was like, when Jed Hoyer came out in the admittedly goofy as fuck Hoyer Bears jersey and was like, I'm in a Bears jersey, I'm just going to chill here with y'all. But he was answering questions with a smile. He was telling stories about the time he was the bat boy for the Reds and how Pete Rose's office was crazy. And I was like, are you likable? Is this the most likable Jed Hoyer has ever been? And I believe it is. And I think that's like the vibe he's got going right now. He's like likable Hoyer. And it's really weirding me out.
I wonder if he got his extension, right? The Cubs made the playoffs for the first time in forever. The Ricketts are actually minorly opening their wallet. It's not a bunch.
He got deferrals,
but
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He got a few things, but also, it could be that, well, he's had crap teams. All of his teams have sucked for 5 years. They've been garbage.
Even when they've been okay, they've been boring.
He has had no good teams. And then he got that extension, and he might be thinking to himself, you know what? That's all I needed. I got my 5 years. That money is guaranteed. At the end of this 5 years, I'm done, which, fuck, I hope. And then,
so Carter time, baby.
So he's got all that money, and he's got
two by then. So
he's actually got a pretty good team right now. So he should be relaxed, and maybe he's the kind of dude that has made it to a point in his life where he's like, you know what? I recognize that where I'm at right at this moment is a good spot, and I am going to enjoy it and be happy. And you know what? I hope so, because I think happy people just do better things and make better decisions and are more optimistic about what they're doing rather than being afraid all the time. And the hallmark of the first 5 Jed years is just been fear of everything. So I hope I hope that's gone now.
And the thing about a Jed Hoyer interview prior to CubsCon, like almost every interview I've ever seen the man give, is that he was going to go full consultant and like hard. He was just going to be like, well, we're thinking about that, but we have to consider all of the externalities and internalities, and we're really not sure what the statistics are going to look like in a couple of years. So we'll listen to all of the offers. And do you have any questions or clarifications needed? Because that's really our strategy. It's always been our strategy.
We need all the clarifications because you just said nothing.
Yeah.
You're right. And of course he was
unprepared for that man to be like, when I was 11, I got dropped off early at the Reds ballpark. I was like, are you a human?
Right.
Well, it's like he gets his Cabrera. Now, granted, he did trade something for it, but he got the pitcher that he wanted. He finally got some controllable starting pitching, which that was their dream last year, and they couldn't get it done because the prices were quote unquote too high. And then he also went and he signed Bregman, who's going to be here for a long time. So he got 2 of the things done that were the biggest holes on the team. And of course he wants to do press now because he's like, hey, look at me. Look what I did. I did everything I was supposed to do. Now because nobody's going to pay attention to the bench and shit like that much.
And right now, preseason on paper, the Cubs are being projected to do very well, right? And so, it's like, he can. This is his moment to have fun. If they don't do well this year, next winter is going to be brutal. It's gonna be bad.
If Bregman hits 6 home runs and just like the power is sapped at Wrigley, like Hoyer's going to have I don't think that's going to happen, by the way. Like I've already written about this. Like I think Bregman's going to be just fine on the power front with the Cubs for at least 2 seasons, maybe 3.
Well, for the first year, and then the next year's not going to happen. And we'll see how he rebounds after an entire year not playing baseball.
I think the 2027 is going to happen, but I think it's going to be at the very last minute and some crazy shit's going to go down. But I do think that if Bregman is not Isaac Paredes, like Isaac Paredes can only hit home runs into the corner on like the weirdest launch angle you've ever seen in your life. Bregman hits the entire left field alley, right? Like he hits the whole, so he doesn't just need the corner. He's going to hit some stuff like past the bleacher Jeff line. And so, and that actually gets him some more power than he had at Fenway in Boston. So I'm like, I'm into this. Like this could work. I agree with you. Like Jed's riding high, but I just honest to God, did not think that man had the capability to relax and be fun. I just thought there was no, like, all I've seen for 10 years is like stressed out Jed Hoyer.
I even liked him on the interview because he was talking about when he was looking for his lost dogs while he was signing Matthew Boyd.
That's great.
Yeah, he was running around the neighborhood because his dogs got out. So he's like 2 a.m. He ended up at the police station, and they had his dogs.
Nice.
Yeah. That's insane. Like,
that's how rich people live. Like, if my dogs are gone, like I'm lucky if the cops don't kill me.
Yeah, everybody who's like, "Oh, I wish I could have that job. I wish I could have that job." I'm telling you right now, I would not be out at fucking 2 a.m. talking to anybody on the phone, like about baseball. I'd be like the Rockies. We work 9 to 5 around here.
I was like, literally, this is 100% true. Like, I was bitching to one of my coworkers about my job right outside the office building, probably, I don't know, a year and a half ago. And I don't remember what exactly was going on at my work at the time, but I do remember that I said the line, I don't understand why I'm the only person in this office who can make a fucking decision. And I saw Jed Hoyer walking towards me as I said that. And the man looked at me and was like, I swear to God, he was like, I feel you. I feel you, sister.
That's amazing. Well, and I understand that too, like walking and talking. Like, I have to do these morning meetings where we're brainstorming ideas for bits for the radio, and I cannot sit still. Like, I'm back and forth and doing this and that. Like, the other day I was like, we have blinds in my new place, and I was like dusting the blinds, like, well, I'm like trying to think of ideas. I was like, I'm just so crazy. But no, so I understand that Jed likes to walk and talk, and he was out looking for his dogs at 2 a.m. when he was getting the Matthew Boyd deal done. And that turned out to be great for the Cubs. And my other takeaways from it were basically that he is just always looking for the middle path. He's looking. He wants the little bit of prospect capital. He wants the veteran. He wants he's just always going to be in churn of setting the team up for success within the budget that's given to him by the Chicago Cubs ownership. And that's about it.
So I did make a few notes. We'll go through them here. You guys can give me your thoughts on them. These are some of the things that sort of stuck out to me when I was listening real early on, like 3 minutes into this thing. I heard out of his mouth these words: "It wouldn't be fun if we played it on paper, right?" And my fucking, so I was dreading listening to this interview because I hate listening to this shit. But I listened to it, and 3 minutes in, my head fucking exploded. I was like at the gym, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, Jed Hoyer is the most on the fucking paper decision fucking baseball guy I've ever goddamn seen. Like, fuck you, Jed. Oh, it wouldn't be fun if we played it on paper. He talks about the back of the baseball cards and all this shit, and they fucking make every decision in game based on 1% better in this versus that. And I'm like, that's all fucking paper bullshit. So that sort of exploded my head. But we all know that I hate that shit. What were your thoughts just sort of on that topic with in context of Jed, not just baseball?
He didn't say anything that surprised me. He never does. He never.
It was only surprising because
he was just more relaxed because he knows Cap and he knows Gordo, and they were giving him shit for putting out boring teams, and that was kind of fun to hear. Like, for the fan, that they were just like saying all the shit that the fans want to say to him, and Jed's like, I know. That's why I erased Twitter, because I was losing my mind seeing what everybody was saying, and so
that man does care what we say.
He does.
He does.
And he knows better than to see it on his phone. I don't know, man. That was the smartest thing he did.
There are some reply guys on Twitter who I am convinced are Jed Hoyer's burner. Like, I'm just like, there is no way you are this invested in Jed Hoyer being right as a third party. Like,
oh my God, yes.
There's no way. Like, you are invested in Jed Hoyer like he is the Lord and Savior you worship every Sunday. Like, there is no way.
He reads the blogs. He said he does read articles, and
well,
so
that's
he might be
for me.
Well, so he probably knows who you are. I mean, as far as that goes, I doubt he listens to the Son Ranto show.
Well,
I mean,
and people,
welcome, Jed Spurner.
And people tell him shit, right? Like,
because we're not saying anything that nobody else is saying.
Yeah, but but what I'm saying is like, if I'm friends with Jed, I'm like, Jed, this dude burned you really bad today. Then I tell Jed exactly what it says, just because I'm Jed's friend and I think it's hilarious to fucking tell him that shit.
I want to go back to Michael's comment about the like on paper thing, because I agree that's annoying. But like the thing that the one thing that strikes me about everybody post Theo that was affiliated with the Cubs that may be affiliated with other teams now, and that front office with Theo in it, is that whole crew, Scott Harris, Jed Hoyer, Craig Breslow, like all of them, Theo brought them in because, in my opinion, I no sourcing on this, is just like, Sarah's watching some shit.
Sarah's paying attention to the world and actually knows shit. Yeah.
Theo brought those guys in because he understands that he has a propensity to go really big and to do crazy things. And he needed a lot of very smart consultant types around him to be like, actually, no, bro. Like, you cannot. Yeah. That's a bad deal.
Don't go
that guy. Yeah. I know you think that's going to work, but it's not. And Theo had enough confidence that he was going to like, yeah, fuck you guys. I'm going to do this anyway. And then he would have to like figure out a way to get rid of Carl Crawford's contract by throwing in some other guys and, like getting some stuff done. That is who Theo is. The problem is that when Theo left, those guys did not replace that impulse of like do big things with a big things guy. They brought in Carter fucking Hawkins and like
Mr. Khaki Pants himself.
All of those guys have gone out and gone somewhere else, right? So you got like Scott Harris with the Tigers, you got like Craig Breslow with the Red. They just keep doing the cautious thing. And there's nobody in their ear being like, buddy, what if we went and signed Edwin Diaz? Like, wouldn't that be sick? And the reason that it has been so frustrating, not just for Cubs fans, I hear it from Tigers fans, I hear it from Red Sox fans, I heard it from Giants fans for a while. Like, the reason it has been so frustrating is because those guys need a big picture, crazy idea. Let's go do the biggest deal in the history of sports and like throw some deferrals on it and see what happens guy. And none of those guys are that guy. And so the Cubs are still lacking that, to be clear. Like nothing they have done in the last year is that big of a deal. And I was just on a fantasy baseball Cubs preview thing earlier today that I think drops tomorrow. But the thing that I said about the Cubs is, honestly, I think it's a good team. Looks good on paper. Alex Bregman, I think, is going to be great for this team. But the one question mark that I have in my head, Alex Bregman does not have the offensive capability that Kyle Tucker did.
No.
Kyle Tucker is a guy that can give you a month or two of like a WRC plus of 180 and like just like carry your team. And Alex Bregman is Seiya Suzuki at third base.
Yeah. Ian Happ.
No, Ian Happ's a step below both of those guys.
Oh, no.
But like, Seiya Suzuki, Michael Busch, Alex Bregman, those are all very good players.
Yeah, they're all solid.
Unsure that the Cubs have the 50 home run Kyle Schwarber, like get shit done guy.
So are we back at 2024 when we were just missing that thing?
We're better than we were in 2024, but I'm not sure the team is as good as they were in 2025 because Kyle Tucker, that first half, like really did, like second half injuries. Yes, I agree. But like, if Pete Crow Armstrong is not a 40-40 guy and Alex Bregman is just who he's been his whole career, they don't have a star bat unless Moises Ballesteros is 2 years earlier than I think he is.
See, I don't know that I get how it can work, right? Like I look at how this team's set up and I do get how it can work and I'm hoping for the best and I really do. And
Me too.
And Jed was talking in the interview about how Bregman is really into like learning about the other players and wanting to like kind of help out that way, and that they hope he can be some sort of they called it a force multiplier. That would be amazing if that could be. Now, Sarah, you called him Seiya Suzuki at third base. I will take a Seiya Suzuki at any position all day long. But Seiya has the language barrier and the other things that are harder for him to bring the team along. He can support everybody and be really good the whole year, but it's hard for him to bring them along. And maybe Bregman has that just because of not having the language barrier
Anthony
and stuff
Rizzo,
like that.
basically.
Yeah.
Who's your
this is my thing. Like, I agree with you. I would also take Seiya Suzuki anywhere, and obviously, like going to a 4.5 or 4 win player at third base as opposed to what Matt Shaw brought last year that's a plus. Like, that's obviously a plus. I'm not even going to argue about it. And you can replace what Seiya did with Moises Ballesteros, and Seiya can move to right field and be 2/3 of what Kyle Tucker did. And like mathematically, it all looks really good on paper. But the problem in my mind is the 2024 Cubs were a good team, like an 83 win team, good team. The thing they were missing was a big bat.
Yeah.
They were missing the Aaron Judge in the lineup. They were missing the Kyle Tucker in the lineup. The Jose Ramirez, I'm sorry, think about this from fantasy baseball perspective, because I'm in draft season right now.
Think about it from the World Series. Think about it from the World Series. Those big bats.
The Cubs do not have, and they didn't have for that whole period where we were like, what's going on here? Is 78 win team. What's going on? A big bat, like a first or second round bat. Like, who is your Aaron Judge? Who is your Jose Ramirez? Who is the guy that is getting pitched around, that is the reason that Seiya Suzuki gets a meatball down the middle that he parks in the left field bleachers, right? Like, right now, I'm not sure Alex Bregman is a big enough bat to be the guy that sets up Seiya Suzuki to do damage. Because what the Cubs need is they need so many guys that PCA gets a mistake.
Yeah,
right.
No,
I just, that's my one concern.
I agree with you. And, Vincent Spike in the chat, I appreciate what you're saying. Vincent says, we need a fucking star, Cotton. We're the fucking
only telling you.
We deserve a goddamn star player. And Vincent, I agree with you 100%. I am not in any way
they're not going to get one.
How they're doing this. I'm just saying I can see how this could work. I'm trying to be positive here, but I'm with you.
It's going to have to, because there's no room on the team anymore. Every position is taken. Every single thing is filled. This is the team. There's no star coming.
I just want to be really clear, because I actually very much like the Bregman signing. I think that Bregman is, by all accounts, like a baseball rat who really, he's super deep in the game. He cares about the team. He cares about the players. I actually love that Bregman did his CubsCon situation by he showed up. He went to a Blackhawks game. He went to a Bulls game. His kid hugged Clark. He went to Cubs convention. He froze his ass off at a Bears game in the playoffs. That is yes, man. You understand the assignment. I am here for you. You are good.
Didn't they tell us his father was a Cubs fan or some shit?
Yes, and he had his dad pictures of little Alex Bregman in a Cubs hat. This is
you know how much we love a fucking dad.
No notes. My concern is only, and Alex Bregman is 5 times better than Matt Shaw, and the lineup is good, and I'm excited. My concern is only that I was literally pulling for this interview thing that I did earlier today, the stats from 2022 through 2025, best hitters sorted by WRC+. Because I wanted to see where Seiya Suzuki lands on that list, and it's impressive. Seiya Suzuki has a 127 WRC+ during that time period. He's right by Marcelo Zuna and Paul Goldschmidt and Francisco Lindor and a bunch of guys. You're yeah, he's the 32nd best hitter in the league during that time. And the 35th best hitter is Alex Bregman at a WRC+ of 126. And that is the bat we just tried to replace Kyle Tucker with.
Yeah, no,
I'm a little under. Yeah, it's a little underwhelming. And Zach Klepper is saying here, would we be surprised if Seiya has a better year than Tucker offensively? And he might, because Tucker was hurt, and I think that was maybe why the Cubs didn't go for him.
Yeah, but how much do you think Seiya Suzuki was better last year because all he had to do was hit?
Could have been, and he's going to be playing right this year, but he was no slouch out there. He had a couple of brain farts out there a few years ago, and
it's just
ball hitting him in the face and stuff. But
yeah, whatever. He's got PCA now, and I think that we know that Ian Happ has an issue with PCA getting too close to him every goddamn play, because PCA can just cover all of Ian Happ's ground.
Ian's like, I've got a gold glove to win here, Pete.
Yeah, so maybe
PCA
is like, you know what?
Ian needs to stay in the well and let PCA roam.
Just go hang out with Bleacher Jeff and have a beer.
But maybe that's what we do with the right side of the outfield. We're like, hey, look, just stay away from
play the line.
Yeah, stay away from Hap. The guy's too amped up on caffeine. Leave him alone. You just run around and play with Seiya over there. Ease up. Let Seiya have a little shorter distance to cover.
I don't want to derail us, but I heard that the Locked On Cubs guys today were talking about a possible Hap extension. I was like, I'll bring that up on the show and watch everybody explode.
Hold on. I do have thoughts on that, but I'm not going there for a second, because I just have to say, in like 2015 or 2016, about the first time I saw one of those shirts that said, a third of or 2/3 of the earth are water and the rest is covered by Javier Baez or whatever it is. I had this moment. I was watching a Cubs game, and there was a play where the ball should have been the left fielders, but Kyle Schwarber was out there. And then if the ball wasn't going to be the left fielders, it was going to be the third baseman, but that was Chris Bryant. And Javier Baez just comes streaking in like a bat out of hell. He's Javi. He makes the play, right? And I drew a map, and I will find it. I don't know where it exists on my computer, but at the time I drew like an MS Paint map. And it was like the zones for everybody defensively for the Cubs. And it was very much like Kyle Schwarber, stay up here in the corner and don't move. Chris Bryant has this like little fiefdom at third base. Like Anthony Rizzo's got some room to roam. Jason Hayward can do whatever he wants. But like this whole area is like Javi Baez. It's like Javi Baez is going to get everything from the mound to the alley to the fence, right? And PCA is that guy. And he kind of could be, because he's better at this than all of them. And he definitely does cover ground that like Hap could cover or Seiya could cover. And it's like, fuck it. PCA's fine.
See, PCA can cover all that ground. Another guy that needs to recognize that is Nico Horner.
Yes.
Because Horner can also cover a ton of ground. But if we start to divide up right field between Nico Horner and PCA,
stay right here.
Yeah, Seiya's got 10 feet.
He can just DH out there. He doesn't have to play right. He
Exactly.
just, I'm not getting this. I'm the DH.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and on the topic of Javi, God, I miss him. And I remember I always wanted this to catch on, and it never did. His nickname should have just been Upgrade, because no matter where he played, he was an upgrade. And during this interview with Hoyer, Gordo actually said he went through that 2016 season and Javi played everywhere. And he's like, every infield position, Javi had the best play of the season at that position. And he only played first base one game.
Well, he didn't play. He didn't catch either. He didn't catch.
Right. Well, he didn't catch.
I really wanted Joe Madden in one of his crazier moments to have a game where Javier Baez played every position, because it really just felt like that could happen. Like you could have Javi pitch, you could have Javi catch for one inning.
Oh,
and I do remember when before Wilson Contreras came up at one point, they asked him who the emergency catcher was when Kyle Schwarber was out. He was like, Javier Baez. I was like, this is outstanding. I was like, let's go.
I would love.
There was some word, I remember this because I had just gotten Pedro Strope's autograph at CubsCon, but wasn't Pedro Strope a catcher for a while?
Dude, I don't know, but I would pay money to see Pedro Strope catch.
I think he might have caught in the minors before he became a pitcher. Yeah, the other thing I see in your notes here is that you don't give any credit to Jed because Shota was already hanging out in Skokie at the Old Orchard Mall, just loving on Chicago. And Jed was like, "Oh, I guess we'll let him sign here."
Yeah.
So we don't even can't give him credit.
I knew about this from the beginning, and over the years, and it hasn't been that long, but over the years, people have really given Jed a ton of credit for Shota. And it's like, no, Shota, he moved to Chicago before he was in the league. He was just living in Chicago, and he's like, hey, I want to play here. And Jed said in the interview, he's like, well, he was supposed to get $100 million, and we weren't in on that. But then as his price started to come down, Andy called us. Then we were like, yeah, why not? Like, I'm like, dude, you're the he's the fucking Forrest Gump of baseball executives, just fucking standing there, and Shota Imanaga fucking walks through his door. Is like, I'd like to play with you, and he's like, all right.
So, can I go back to this Hap extension situation?
Oh, do we have to?
Nobody wants to.
Well, no, okay. I think we need to, because I think we need to be explicit on the Hap extension thing. Because I'm
happy to yell about it.
Here, a couple things. Like, Ian Happ is a very good baseball player, and we should not take that for granted. I don't think he should have won the Gold Glove as many times as he did, just because there were better left fielders out there. But like, I appreciate that he did, and that's kind of one of those incumbency awards. Like, once you've got it, somebody has to take it from you, and nobody has. So go Happ. Beyond that, he is a bank it 250, 350, 450 slash line. He's going to hit you 20 to 25 home runs. He's going to run a little bit. He's going to understand the assignment of being a Cub. He's going to understand that you go out to left field and you mix it up with the bleacher guys. And every now and again, you throw him $100 and you buy him some beers, and you are beloved here forever. And you find the little kid in the stands and you make sure that kid has a ball. You do a podcast where you like relate to the fans and you like prove to them that you get the thing. You have like Ian Happ, maybe more than any other Cub currently on the roster, except possibly PCA. And he's so new, I just can't tell. I think PCA gets it, but like he just gets it, man. Like, he gets it. And he is, of all the guys out there right now, he's not the best player, but he's a perfectly above average player, and he wants to be a Cub. And he loves it here. And also, the single easiest position to upgrade from slightly above average, likable guy is left field. And they're not going to extend him.
Stick a shoe out there.
They're not going to extend him. And it's going to be the right thing to do. And it's also going to be the wrong thing to do. And I'm like already at war with myself, because like the sabermetric side of my brain is like, obviously you don't extend Ian Happ. Like, let him go somewhere else and get Teoscar Hernandez in there or something.
And I have no idea why this didn't happen. I know Ian Happ must have, had this as part of, I will sign here for this extension as long as I'm the everyday left fielder, because if people remember, he used to play second, he used to play center. I don't know if he could play a little third. I mean, probably not a shortstop, but he could play. Now, what if he could give you super sub kind of move, like sunset out of the league as a Cub, as a Ben Zobrist with a DH on the bench, giving you the walk when you need it in extra innings, like doing all the things that a veteran player knows how to do. If he's willing to do that for no money and stay in Chicago just on a podcaster's salary, I am fine with it.
Can I just say the funniest moment of Cubs convention was the moment where Anthony Rizzo told the story about the day Ian Happ was playing first. And like John Lester comes charging into the clubhouse and he's like, God damn it, what the fuck, man? Ian Happ's at first base, and like Ian Happ is in the room. Like, Lester is furious that like Rizzo's got a day off against like New York. And he's like, and Ian Happ's there like, hi man, I'm your first baseman today.
That's amazing. Well, yeah, and Lester's the guy that's like really knows. Like, honestly, anybody who made the decision to give Anthony Rizzo a day off when John Lester was on the mound, that person should be fired.
Yeah,
because that's some stupid shit. Because John Lester needed Rizzo.
Oh yeah,
just in case he had to throw the whole glove over there, or he had to bounce a ball in to him.
Pass.
You know? Yeah,
it was during the Compound podcast. You have to go look it up. It was the funniest thing I've ever heard. It's one of the funniest stories I've ever heard Anthony Rizzo tell. But you can just picture like rookie Ian Happ just like hiding in the locker room, and Lester comes in hot that Happ's at first base.
Watching Rizzo and how he's been with the fans and being out there in the bleachers, and also like how he is.
He's been a Cub for this whole time.
He never wanted to leave, and that's so sad because he could have been on this team the whole time and been a statue over there until you give it away to somebody else. But I was thinking, like, I want to see him in the booth. I want him up in the broadcast booth and like telling these stories, like, you know, like I think he could do it too. He's got the personality. It's going to take some work learning the tricks of the color man trade, but he's got the personality.
He just signed a deal with NBC. He's going to be getting that sort of training going. Yeah. So
I want him in the Cubs booth, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, and hopefully we will.
We have
get
Jim
him
DeShays,
someday.
so like you just calm down. Jim DeShays isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, I know we got to get more dad jokes, I guess.
Okay, so finishing up on the whole Happ thing, I just want people to understand. I don't hate Ian Happ in any way.
Neither do I. I like
Ian Happ is a good ball player. The only nothing Ian Happ has done has ever made me angry or upset. The way that management has treated left field, which Ian Happ happens to play. Like, if it could be anybody over there, but the fact that they have just been hands off left field, it's the fucking spot you put anybody
with a bat, with a big bat.
You know, whatever. Well, and speaking of that, I did have to go look up a couple of things, right? So Hoyer got into the whole 2021 thing and getting rid of guys, right? And his fucking dumbass was like, he literally said, we could have kept this going for a couple more years, but we wouldn't be where we are today. And I'm like, where the fuck are we today? We haven't won the goddamn division in 5 fucking years. Like,
we wouldn't be in the wild card second spot today if we hadn't done Blue Friday. We would not be 8 games behind the Brewers playing the wild card.
Honestly,
where does Jed Hoyer think we are?
The only players they would be missing some guys. Like, I'll be clear. Like, they wouldn't have PCA.
Yeah, he's the only one I care.
He's literally the only fucking acquisition.
They also probably would not have Michael Bush because Anthony Rizzo still would have been here, so they would not have gone out and gotten Michael Bush.
You get somewhere else. Get Vlad Guerrero.
How did we get Daniel Palencia again? Trade, right?
Yeah,
trade?
He was part of one of those trades.
Which trade?
Yeah, look, I'm
already Daniel Palencia, and it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I agree not having PCA would suck, but like they could have still signed Seiya.
He came for Chafin.
Oh yeah, well yeah, we wouldn't have had Palencia because
that's a great deal.
That might be the best return.
That might be Jed's best trade.
No shit. No.
But like, this is my point. It's like you could have done all these other things. You could have still signed Dansby Swanson. You could have still signed Seiya Suzuki. You would still have Shota Imanaga. You would still have Justin Steele. You would still have Moises Ballesteros. You could have still signed Carson Kelly. You could have still, like, all these guys could still be here except for PCA, Palencia, and whoever else I just said.
And I am not
Michael
arguing
Bush.
The fact that no, we could not be exactly where we are right now if we did those things back then. Because, I'm just saying, is where we're at right now that much better than having a shot in 21, in 22, possibly 23, right?
I mean,
instead of fucking punting on 21, when, by the way, we had the exact same record as the Atlanta Braves.
We're in first
well,
place.
no, I'm like literally, like, that's where I was just going to go. Like, I'm thinking about draft picks, and I think the only draft pick they might have lost out on is Cade Horton, and I'm not sure they would have, because if you remember, they bumped Cade Horton super high into like the top 7 when nobody else had him there off the World Series, college World Series.
Shit breaks differently for sure. Shit would have broken differently, but I think that you could just spend money and get good players and
spend money,
and
spend money.
Be fine. Yeah,
and like I was saying, they had the exact same record as the Atlanta Braves at that moment, and they sold, and the Braves bought, and the Braves won the World Series. Now, I'm not saying the Cubs would have won the World Series, but I am saying the Braves won the fucking World Series doing the exact opposite thing that the Cubs did. Yeah. And the Braves have had good teams going forward, and the Cubs have had shit teams. So, I mean, pick your poison.
I don't know, man. They could have done a lot of this without ever doing it Blue Friday.
And then the other thing was that
exactly doesn't preclude it.
And also, like, you think of, like, we had to trade you, Darvish and Victor Caratini. Like, did you though? Because
we had to not sign Kyle Schwarber.
The only guy was like, they got Owen Casey, who they just got Edward Cabrera for. But, like, I don't know, man.
Now you're too many deviations away from the original thing. Like, even with the Michael Bush, we wouldn't have gotten Michael Bush because this guy,
he was 17 when that trade happened.
Exactly. He couldn't even drink. He didn't even have hair on his freaking chin.
Yeah, no, the best return that they got was PCA for Javi.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And even then, can you imagine a team with Javi and PCA? You wouldn't even need other fielders.
I mean, just the vibes alone with PCA and Javi on the same team would make my day. They could be the worst goddamn team in the league, and I would just be so happy watching them because I think they would be fun as hell.
It'd be like the 89 Cubs where the only thing worth watching was like Sandberg and Dawson and everything else was just terrible. Yeah. They'd be like, well, I'm showing up. Maybe somebody will hit a dog.
Yeah. Well, he also talked about losing Schwarber, which we all know is one of the worst fucking things that he ever did. Dumb. And he claimed, we couldn't keep him because he wasn't good in left and they didn't have the DH, right?
For a year. There was one fucking year where they didn't have the goddamn DH.
Well, but according to him, they didn't know what it was coming.
That's such bullshit.
I just want to point out here that the 2022 Phillies had Kyle Schwarber as their left fielder for 139 games. They did not use him as their DH. And do you know what happened with that team?
They went to the World Series.
They went to World fucking Series. And in 2020, the last time the Cubs won their division,
Kyle Schwarber
was the left fielder in 48 out of 60 games. Now, that was a fucked up season, but look, there was no reason. You will never make the argument, or at least I will never accept the argument that you couldn't win with Kyle Schwarber as your left fielder because Kyle Schwarber was good enough as a left fielder and his bat more than made up for it.
And I want to, because everything Cotton just said is correct. Two things about Kyle Schwarber that were totally underrated by the Chicago Cubs.
I wish for.
Which pisses me. This is one of my villain origin stories. Kyle Schwarber had a fucking cannon in left, and nobody thought he was a good fielder. So he threw guys out. He was literally MLB assist leader in like 2019 and 2020 because everybody ran on him, and he was like, "Fuck you, gun down." Like, I was a catcher. I have no range. I don't know where the ball is going to go.
I may or may not have a shoe when I get to it.
Yeah. I can throw you out. And he did. And that was great. Number 2, Kyle Schwarber is one of the, and this is something Theo did that I think Jed got rid of because he thought it just wasn't worth the money or whatever. And he was wrong.
Yeah,
Kyle Schwarber has massive character benefits. Every team the
Force
dude
multiplier
has
Alex
ever
Bregman.
been on has won. The Indiana team he was on exceeded expectations. The Red Sox team where he was playing first base, exceeding expectations.
He also played left field at Fenway for like 40
that was
games.
nuts. That was really bad, by the way. I watched it. It sucked ass.
But listen, that Red Sox team was good.
Listen,
he contributed, and left field at Fenway is the absolute hardest left field
it is.
that there is in the league.
I own a Red Sox Kyle Schwarber jersey. I am going to be the only person in history who's going to have a Red Sox jersey collection of Dustin Pedroia, Kyle Schwarber, and Wilson Contreras. And it's glorious, y'all. But Kyle Schwarber in Boston, they called him Kyle from Waltham. I don't think you understand. That he had, within 2 months, a folk following in Boston that persists to this day. You go to Boston and you mention the name Kyle Schwarber. Oh, yeah, Kyle from Waltham, man. I can't believe we let him go. Schwarber. Got to bring Schwarber back. People love him in Boston. He was there for 47 seconds. I'm like,
it's like our Nick the Stick.
How do you let him go for nothing?
People love him here.
People love him everywhere. So, think about these cities: Chicago, Boston, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You put a Chicago guy, a Boston guy, a Philadelphia guy in a room for an hour, they're just going to fucking probably murder each other. Unless
Kyle Schwarber.
You're like, Kyle Schwarber's your favorite player. Those fuckers are going to sit there and drink beer and talk Kyle
Sing
Schwarber.
the old songs from the old country.
Exactly.
Nah, dude, I agree with you. The Kyle Schwarber mistake it's so big and so egregious that I'll never get over it. And we were robbed. We were all robbed of watching Kyle Schwarber blossom. He hit a ball over the scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
Over
it should have been enough for the
Over.
extension.
What are we doing?
Schwarboard.
It's the Schwarboard.
Yeah.
He is still, I believe, has the most homers in postseason history, in a single postseason for the Cubs in history, mainly because the Cubs never went to the postseason, but also because he is a fucking dude. He's the guy that on a Wednesday in July may not do anything for you. But Friday night in October, baby, you want Kyle fucking Schwarber up to bat. You want a broke ass, no tendons in his goddamn knee at all, up to bat in the 10th inning in fucking Cleveland in game 7.
Right.
And that motherfucker put you on first base so that you can flop him out for Albert Almora to make the greatest tag up in the history of baseball. That's Kyle Schwarber. He just fucking does it. And you'll never have a number that shows what Kyle Schwarber is. They don't make that number. It's the 11 on the Spinal Tap amp. That's Kyle Schwarber.
Totally right. That's totally right. And the other part of this, the reverse part of this that pisses me off so much, I understand that Jed and this Cubs front office, their whole shtick is that we are the smartest dudes in the history of history, and we can't go big because we don't make big mistakes, but we also won't go too small because we won't make that mistake. We're going to be right there in the Dansby Swanson of it all. We're going to be so above average, but not really exciting, and it's going to work. But
fucking
the Kyle Schwarber
Jason Hayward at short.
No sense from that perspective. You don't judge any player on 60 goddamn games ever. That is sabermetrics 101 is small sample sizes are a mistake, and a 60 game season to make the decision to non-tender a first round draft pick who was that guy for you in the World Series and has always won anywhere and has been that dude at every stop in his career, to non-tender him on a 60 game sample is fucking malpractice, man. That is math nerds everywhere are cringing.
Yeah.
So the math nerds hate you and the field guys hate you. And all the guys drinking in the bars in Philly and Boston and Chicago were like, fuck you, man. Where's my Kyle Schwarber?
Yeah.
The only one that was happy about that was Tom Ricketts. And then he was sad. And then he was sad probably because he ended up paying Jack Peterson an extra $1
The same fucking amount of money, man.
Yeah. Fucking idiots.
Well, we did run out of time to do the bitch clock because I
think that was my bitch clock.
Yeah,
that was me on the
We've been
clock.
bitching this whole time. We don't need to spin any wheel, but
hold on. Can I bring in some of these some of the chat stuff real quick?
Sure,
just
sure.
run through.
Then,
There's been people in the chat.
Cubstradamus is right outside the door here, and I want him to leave, so I would like to play his video so we could so I can get rid of him.
Yeah. Okay. Where are we at?
I don't know.
So
You're the one that wanted to do
some
something.
comments from the chat.
You're the one that just derailed me moving on to the next thing.
Shameless,
so you could,
shameless
like,
plug.
like,
Cotton is on fire right now. Defense left field just doesn't matter that much.
That's true.
I always like when people agree with me. But
so that's what this is about.
Yeah, but Vince,
people
Vince
like
Spike,
me. They really like me.
I have been saying this for years. And
I
then
had no idea what that was about.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, just everything. That's the thing. I think that like there's people out there that have been, they just don't know what we're doing over here, and they're just like, I've been saying this shit for years.
Yeah.
Well, finally, there's people out here saying it.
We're the Sunrise
Andy Wells.
High.
I have no idea, Andy. You're gonna have to get in here. It's the biggest word in the dictionary. I don't even know what that fucking means.
If is the biggest word in the dictionary. If.
Yeah. But then, if, yeah. He literally became the Cubs' all-time postseason home run leader in his first postseason.
Praz is cooking right now, man.
Yeah. Yumper,
Hi,
he made the all-star
hey,
team
Yumper.
the next 2 seasons in left field, by the way.
That's fucking crazy. You know why? Because what you're supposed to do in left field is hit bombs. Kyle Schwarber hits
and that's
bombs.
what he was the perfect dude that you throw out there and just hope that he doesn't totally embarrass himself and hit bombs. Yeah.
So like someday I'll write this and it'll be like a long form piece and I have no idea who is gonna ever publish it, but I do think there's an interesting thing here. The Phillies, as run by Dave Dombrowski, are like the polar opposite of the Cubs as run by Jed Hoyer. And I'm not sure either team. Like, if anything, the Phillies have been more successful than the Cubs, but it's like, which team is better after 5 years? I like shrug emoji. I'm not sure, but like Dave Dombrowski was literally like, I'm going to spend money. Kyle Schwarber is going to be our left fielder. Nick Castellanos isn't right. We may or may not have a center fielder. Like Bryce Harper is going to learn how to play first base. We're just going to hit for we're going to hit bombs for days and I'm going to spend money to get it. Jed Hoyer was like, I can't spend money. Defense over everything. Don't have any 30 home run guys. Don't have any 40 home run guys. Don't have any 50 home run guys. Defense, fundamentals. And I'm pretty sure these teams have wound up at the same spot. What?
I said, but the outs above average.
Right. Well, that allows him to skimp on pitching. They can play. He can pay less for pitching if he has a good defense. So I do understand the math there.
Don't forget the committee on run prevention.
They really do have a great defense, man.
They do. We kid them, but
I agree. The Phillies are who I wanted the Cubs to be.
I call them the Bizarro Cubs because they're all the guys we ever wanted. You know, Schwarber, Castellanos, and
Harper, JT Real Muto.
Yeah, JT. Oh man, that'd have been good.
They almost traded Javi Baez for JT Real Muto. Do you remember that?
I do. Yeah, I remember JT Real Muto being a part of it and thinking that Javier Baez being off the team would have been the saddest day of my life, and it happened anyway. Well, Cubstradamus does have a prediction for us. This is the new iteration of Cubstradamus brought to you by him and his new use of AI.
It's almost February. Somebody go get Steve and Harry. It's time to start losing and time to keep boozing like a coal mine that killed the canary.
Why is the baseball on the hot dog?
Well, I don't know because AI just kind of does what it wants. Like I could go in there and be like, hey, less baseballs on the hot dog, please. And then I'd have to be sitting there all day making this thing. But
I'm just the
here
only
for the
saving grace
bathrobe.
of that is that robe doesn't open at all because it's way
but it makes
too
you think
fucking
it might.
Short. It does.
Okay,
maybe
so
I can
I
make
noticed
AI
that
do
too, and how do I say this?
I like it. You're like, I noticed that too. Every single person who was watching, including all of us, stared at his crotch that entire fucking time because we were just like, please don't let it pop out. But
so
also,
what I'm wondering
what might that look like?
And I'm trying to be very diplomatic and like very PG here. But I've noticed that Cubstradamus has a weird number of appendages in various places.
You got 6 arms.
Like, what about the other appendages that we can't see?
Oh,
yeah, he might have 6 penises. We don't know. He might
Two
not have
6 arms and a very short rope.
I'm gonna go. Look, I'm just gonna
butthole.
base it.
Why is there a baseball on the hot dog? Is that a hot dog?
I think it's a hot dog. He's got a hot dog. He's got a beer. He's got a couple of baseball bats, a foam finger.
Look, I'm gonna base this on just the most basic anatomy. Men generally have 2 arms, and they have 1 penis. So I'm gonna assume Cubstradamus has 3 penises.
Yeah, with 6 arms. That is a fair assessment, Michael. That's a brilliant deduction. But that tie on that bathrobe, I'm gonna hold it on for dear life. I'll tell you that much. But I do like that. I mean, hey,
Michael, that's the funniest shit you've ever said. The ratio of arms to penises.
Right.
He's not wrong.
The golden ratio.
I was just going to say the golden ratio.
I want to say happy birthday. I'm looking at the Rancher calendar here. Kevin Cook, it's his birthday. Mike Waller's birthday is tomorrow. So happy birthday, Mike. And
Waller.
Yeah, Ernie Banks.
Happy birthday, Waller.
Ernie Banks' birthday is Saturday.
Aww.
So he would have been, I don't know, 100 or something. A lot. He would have been pretty old.
He would have been.
I might go leave something by his grave.
Yeah. And then Ranterfest 6/6, June 6th. Cincinnati on the 19th. We got a bunch of Bleacher Bum Band shows on random Saturdays. I put all the Bleacher Bum Band shows in the calendar, and those calendars should be sent soon. I did order the calendar. If you just because I wanted to take advantage of a sale, that doesn't mean that you can't buy a calendar still, because I can just print more calendars. No problem. I can still put your picture in the calendar and print the picture up with your pic, or the calendar up with your picture in it as well. So sunrancher.com/calendar. If you still want to buy it, it starts in March. So you have the entire month of February to still buy the calendar. It has the spring training schedule and the regular season schedule.
Yeah.
Dominic DeLauro wants to know if Cubs caroling is in the Cubs calendar.
It's not, because we have to wait for them to announce when T-Box is. And when T-Box is announced, then we can announce it on a different weekend than T-Box is. So
very smart.
Unfortunately, we have to wait on that. But I know Dominic, he works for the Postal Service, and it's a tough time for him to get off of work, because it's a time when we're all sending each other things. Hashtag chance in the chat. I do have one TFC, which is kind of funny because it does involve a former Major League Baseball player. Over on Twitter, we had Chipper Jones out there. He was feeling himself out there. He was talking about how we basically that all immigrants should be handcuffed and thrown out of the country because he's a piece of shit. And but Chipper Jones, he was talking about one of his daughters or something. He said, "She's great. Thanks for asking. My son is a collegiate baseball coach. Anything else? Ass wipe?" And he spelled ass wipe with a WHIPE. And I just couldn't help but thinking that's also how he says white.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he thought he was writing white and then spell checked himself.
But I went super viral, over 2,000 likes by saying Chipper Jones is so dumb he can't even spell ass wipe. So ass wipe.
I love that when something insane like that, like 2,000 likes.
I had no idea. Like, I just fuck with Chipper Jones and I go viral. All right, let's do this thing. I had to mute the tweet.
Yeah.
Well, I have one TFC. Reese McGuire signed with the Brewers, and we get Milwaukee Brewer And then also he can celebrate in his car with a Pabst Blue Rubbin.
Well, yeah, that was good. Oh man,
Blue Rubbin is something that Cubstradamus does. I think. I mean,
3 times.
That's all Blue Rubbin.
He's got lots of rubbing to do.
He's got lots of hands to rub with.
Rubs above replacement.
Literally, Reese McGuire's wet dream is to have arms like Cubstradamus.
and 2 extra penises.
That's exactly it.
Do you think they would let Cubstradamus play baseball? Because he's got too many hands, man. Like it feels like that's an unfair advantage.
They let Jim Abbott do it with 1 arm.
Yeah, but I think you can have fewer. You just can't have more.
Yeah.
This is like the whole who gets to play what sports thing.
Well, I don't know. Remember Antonio Alfonseca had that extra finger.
Dude.
They let him out there.
The very first Cubs game I ever went to, I was sitting by the old bullpens on the third baseline, and that dude waved with me with his 6-fingered hand. And I was like, yes.
Oh, did a chill go down your
Let's
spine?
Go.
You were cursed by the devil.
Oh, man. Great. How was everybody not quoting Princess Bride at that dude? Just nonstop.
The 6-fingered man.
They're looking for the 6-fingered man. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Actually, okay, so I have to tell people in Chicago this because you may not know. The Music Box Theater on February 11th and February 14th is playing The Princess Bride. And friend of the show, Ken Schultz, and I are headed out there for sure. But like
the movie or a play or like
no, they're playing the movie at the Music Box Theater. Okay. They do that. Like last year, they did a whole like play ball, baseball theme thing for a month. They just do that. But like if you want to go see The Princess Bride in theaters, you can on February 11th or the 14th.
Nice.
Wonder if Alfonseca is going to go.
I don't know, man, but I'll let you know.
If it's 6 figures, if Antonio Alfonseca is listening, I think you'd be a big hit as the 6-fingered man at the Princess Bride screening. All right. Well, hashtag Chance in the chat.
Sorry.
He's got double the fingers. Got double the fingers of 3-finger Brown, to tell you that much. 6-finger Alfonseca. They should have called him that, you know.
You know what? That's one of the few things. Like, I love the fact that we called what's his name 5-finger Brown.
Yeah,
because
5-finger Brown. Yep.
It's how many fingers you're supposed to have.
Technically, it's 4 fingers and a thumb.
Only on the Cubs do we have to differentiate.
Oh, we're talking about 5-finger Brown. Is that what you're supposed to have? Sure, don't worry about it. Yeah. Gotta be a Cubs fan to understand.
Best baseball team ever. Not by like championships or anything, though.
Yeah. But
by like vibes and fandom.
By vibes and Hall of Fame cripples. All right. Hashtag Chance in the chat is your last chance to get in the chat. And we'll pick a winner. I saw that Chris Salato was giving me shit for not sending the chances, and I agree. I do suck. I'll be honest. Like, my life has kind of been shitty lately, but it's been hard to complete. And Vincent Spike, who I actually don't know who that is. So you'll have to reach out to me at Vincent Spike and let me know who you are so that I can send you a chance postcard with a message of love and doom to your abode. Congratulations.
It's been a long time since we had a first-time winner.
Yeah, it has been a moment. And but thanks. I assume that we're going to have a lot more first-time winners as the season starts. Congratulations. He says, oh, fuck yeah.
Welcome.
But
it's the dog.
Yeah, and I do want to say Lyle's not here right now, but I'm going to be actually seeing him this weekend because we had a very close friend of ours pass away this week, and so we'll be heading to Cincinnati.
Sorry to hear that, man.
A friend of me and my wife and Lyle, like from a long time ago, and it's a rough one because she was way too young to die, and so we're just we're all feeling it, and so just remember that life is short and precious, and fuck ice. So and hold your loved ones close, and we're gonna just be here as long as you'll let us be here and doing this show and talking Cubs, having a good time. And I already heard back from Tim Sheridan, who said, who's also going through it. He intimated that much to us. Said thank you. It's uplifting talking to friends in this crazy time. I enjoyed it. Most fun I've had in a while, and I could say that for myself too. That when things are shitty, I'm actually pretty excited to come on these shows and talk to you guys and just have some fun.
Hey, it's the only reason I do it. Like just coming on here and getting a chance to, and obviously we talked about some very heavy shit tonight, but the idea that I get to share that with friends rather than hold it on my own shoulders, but then also be able to talk about this inconsequential bullshit baseball team. That's fun. It is fun to hang out with you guys, to hang out with the people in the chat. So thank you for being there for me. I appreciate it.
And thanks for everybody who's been here tonight. Certainly.
Oh, also shout out
and share.
We went over 2 hours.
Yeah, we went over 2 hours, and you and little Yumper, didn't you just recently break down some a movie and a remake of a movie?
Yeah, we talked about RoboCop.
RoboCop, yeah. So
we put the 1987 version up against the 2014 version. So if you're interested in hearing baseball guys talking about movies from a long time ago, check it out. It's on the Sadistic Penguins site.
And speaking of fucking ice, he's got some great T-shirts and stickers and stuff like that that say "fuck ice," and so we should be putting those up all around Wrigley. But anyway, thanks for all being here tonight. Sarah, what do you got to plug tonight?
I just wanted to hang out with y'all. I'm writing at Baseball HQ still. If you're a fantasy baseball type, so check that out. I've got a piece that should be out next week. Got lots of stuff going on at Bleed Cubby Blue, covered the convention, covering the trades, whatever. But I don't have anything special like that right now. I just wanted to hang out with y'all, and this place is cool. This place is special. Y'all are good.
We're glad you came by.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to your big piece on the Dylan Carlson minor league signing.
Man, the funniest thing about the Dylan Carlson trade or signing or whatever the fuck it is that the Cardinals the reason the Cardinals did not get Juan Soto is they were like, oh fuck no, we can't let Dylan Carlson go. It's like bridge too far.
You just made everyone's day. Dylan Carlson's so good, the Cardinals could not let him go in order to get Juan Soto.
That was the deal breaker when Juan Soto was on the market. The San Diego Padres offered like 5 other guys and got him instead, but it was like the Cardinals I don't know, man, Dylan Carlson. I find that hysterical because Dylan Carlson is not very good.
Future Cardinals Hall of Famer Dylan Carlson is now a minor league Cub with.
And what's really funny about that is that was also when the Cardinals had Randy Arozarena, who was going to be very good, or like Tyler O'Neill, who also was going to be very. They're like, no, Dylan Carlson. That's the line in the sand, man.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they suck now, so we can all take solace in that. At least we got that going for us. All right. Well,
this is actually, I'm sorry, we have to throw this on from Praz because it's a great little tidbit about Dylan Carlson that I didn't know.
Dylan Carlson was also the comp pick the Cardinals got from the Cubs for signing John Lackey.
Nice.
Amazing. See, he was always meant to be a Cub. It's obvious. I'm gonna play a good old song. This is an old one with some older references to the older Cubs from back in the day. But this is the sweater song from Weezer as Pitchers and Catchers, because that's next, baby. And Spagog.
Spagog.
Hey Danny, how was your winter, man?
It sucked.
How about them Cubs? What an offseason! Freaking see you, man.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, man. You want a beer?
All right.
This season's gonna be the best, with Hayward and Zobrist and Lackey, plus last year's dudes. We can't lose.
That's what they're saying.
Oh, man, it's gonna be the best. I'm so stoked. Take it easy, bruh.
I need palm trees, Cub fans, the sands. Oh, damn, I am freaking freezing. It is time for pitchers and catchers. We're so close to opening day.
Hey, what's up?
Not much.
Do you think they'll trade Soler?
I don't know.
I think they'll probably get a pitcher for him, but maybe wait till the trade deadline.
Hello, Rizzo, I'm gone. Bye-bye, goodbye, a flight, too much, gonna drive. It is time for pitchers and catchers. Whoa, 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 we're so close to opening day. In Arizona, watching Cubs baseball. Drinking lots of beer, out in the sun. It is time for pitchers and catchers. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're so close to opening day. In Arizona, watching Cubs baseball. Drinking lots of beer, out in the sun. It is time for pitchers and catchers. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're so close to opening day. In Arizona, watching Cubs baseball. Drinking lots of beer, out in the sun.